You want to get rid of it, but it's impossible. And even if you could, you wouldn't want to because it adds spice and excitement to our lives. It's stress, and once you get too much of it on your plate, it can interfere with the way you enjoy life. Symptoms can affect us mentally and physically, and in order to attack it, we need to find out what is causing it. There are many ways to handle stress, such as managing time wisely, setting time aside for ourselves, and using positive self-talk. If not treated accordingly, stress can cause serious medical conditions, and down the road, it can be linked with a major cause of death. Let's begin by defining stress and understanding how it affects our lives. Quote, the emotional and physical strain caused by our response to pressure from the outside world, quote, is how eHealth MD defines stress. Emotionally, one can experience anywhere from a simple headache to irritability and unable to concentrate. It sounds like symptoms that will go away with Advil or with a nap, but if not treating accordingly and on with time, it can cost the health of even the healthiest person out there. Due to the human's built-in response mechanism, stress affects your physical health as well. Effects include increased heartbeat, shallow breathings, and continually feeling fatigue. In one study performed by the American Psychological Association, college students under pressure of exams had a severe condition of acne, regardless of their diet and sleeping order. Once the exam pressure was over, the condition of acne diminished greatly. There is pressure in anything we do, and stress in simple terms is the emotional and physical response our bodies produces to the pressures that the outside world brings. It can impact our body and mind, and now let's discuss what is meant by pressure from the outside world. Anything you can think of causes pressure. Know that not all persons feel pressure by the same factors, so what might be stressful to one person might not be to the next. When our mind starts getting overwhelmed with too much pressure, it begins to overthink, and at the same time is trying to accomplish its mission. So when other challenges start heading our way, we are more vulnerable of being unable to handle it the same way as if the brain was relaxed. To help avoid stress interfering with our everyday lives, it is important to handle it as soon as we notice patterns of change in our moods or habits. Basically, anything that causes stress can be pressure, but before we set out to handle it, we need to recognize the fact that it's affecting our lives, and we need to set our minds into practicing an effective way of coping with it. Don't ignore any of the symptoms discussed earlier. Instead of lighting a cigarette and saying that everything's fine, face the fact that you're stressed out and set your mind into dealing with the situation. After realizing it's affecting your life, you need to take control of the situation and do something about it. Knowing you have stress and ignoring it will make you more vulnerable to end up smoking, using alcohol, and even drugs. Finding out exactly where your pressure is coming from will help you deal with the struggles. Once you have identified and realized the causes of your stress and you set your mind into coping with it, you are going to need a method of relaxation that works for you. Managing time, having a positive outlook, and thinking in a positive way, and setting a time for yourselves are just a few of the million ways there is to deal with stress. Let's talk about managing time wisely. Managing time wisely is one of the most effective ways of dealing with stress. Break large projects into smaller ones, and you will feel like you've accomplished more. Set a good schedule and follow it to avoid being overwhelmed with deadlines. We've all heard of the saying, don't live for